Imagine a world where busyness is mistaken for importance, where distraction is constant, and where exhaustion is quietly celebrated as ambition. Cal Newport didn't begin as a cultural critic. He began as a computer scientist, immersed in algorithms, proofs, and systems that reward clarity and precision. He studied at Dartmouth, earned his Ph.D. at MIT, and built a career in a field that demands long, uninterrupted thought. And that's when he noticed something strange. The very tools designed to make knowledge work easier were making it harder to think at all. Out of that tension came a simple, unsettling insight. Deep work is the ability to focus without distraction on a cognitively demanding task. Not multitasking, not staying busy, but sustained attention, something increasingly rare and increasingly valuable. Newport argues that we live in an economy that rewards two abilities above all else: the ability to quickly master hard things and the ability to produce at an elite level in terms of both quality and speed. And yet we've built a work culture that actively undermines both. Slack pings, email notifications, meetings about work replacing the work itself. As Newport observes, busyness has become a proxy for productivity. In the absence of clear measures of value, we default to visibility, doing lots of things loudly and often. The result isn't excellence, it's frenetic exhaustion. And beneath it all is a quieter truth. If you don't produce, you won't thrive, no matter how skilled or talented you are. Newport doesn't frame distraction as a personal failure. He treats it as an environmental one. Who you are, what you think, feel, and do, what you love, is the sum of what you focus on. Attention, he reminds us, is not neutral. Whatever captures it shapes us. Yet modern life fragments that attention into pieces too small to build anything meaningful. We scroll instead of sit, react instead of reflect, consume instead of create. Or as Newport puts it bluntly, simply put, humans are not wired to be constantly wired. The cost isn't just lower productivity, it's shallower thinking, thinner relationships, a creeping sense that we're always busy, but rarely fulfilled. Against the cultural advice to follow your passion, Newport offers something more demanding and more hopeful. Passion comes after you put in the hard work to become excellent at something valuable, not before. Meaning, he argues, is earned, not discovered in a moment of inspiration, but built through skill, effort, and discomfort. If you want to love what you do, abandon the passion mindset and adopt the craftsman mindset. This means choosing depth over dopamine, practice over performance, progress over applause. And it means accepting an uncomfortable truth. If you're not uncomfortable, then you're probably stuck at an acceptable level. Newport's answer to digital overload isn't rejection, it's intention. He calls it digital minimalism, a philosophy of technology use in which you focus your online time on a small number of carefully selected activities that strongly support things you value and then happily miss out on everything else. Not everything, just the things that cost more than they give. Because, as he warns, we eagerly signed up for what Silicon Valley was selling and soon realized we were accidentally degrading our humanity. Our social lives reduced to notifications, our leisure flattened into endless feeds, our solitude erased. And yet, our sociality is simply too complex to be outsourced to a social network. In his more recent work, Newport goes further, challenging the very pace of modern work. I want to rescue knowledge work from its increasingly untenable freneticism. His proposal is radical in its simplicity. Doing less can enable better results. Not less effort, but fewer priorities. Not laziness, but sustainability. Deciding what not to do is as important as deciding what to do. Quality over speed, depth over scale, longevity over burnout. Because in the end, this is what ultimately matters, where you end up, not the speed at which you get there. So what does Newport leave us with? First, protect your attention, because focus isn't just a work skill, it's a life skill. Less mental clutter means more mental resources available for deep thinking. Second, build skill before seeking meaning. Mastery comes first, fulfillment follows. Third, create boundaries that make depth possible, routines, rituals, clear endings. When you work, work hard. When you're done, be done. And finally, choose depth, not just at work, but in how you live. Because as Newport concludes, a deep life is a good life, any way you look at it. So tonight, as you move through your own distracted world, past unread emails, endless feeds, and half-finished thoughts, ask yourself, what am I giving my attention to? By default. What would improve if I slowed down and focused deeply? And what might my life look like if I chose depth on purpose? Because in an age that profits from your distraction, focus is not just productive. It's an act of resistance. I'm grateful for the moments shared in discourse. May our paths cross again in the fullness of time.